Ready? You see, ladies and gentlemen, this trial, in essence, is a search for truth. How, I ask you, does one arrive at a verdict based upon the evaluation of testimony? How does one make the determination as to whether or not one is truthful or one is not truthful? How does a juror determine whether or not testimony is worthy of his or her acceptance or worthy of his or her rejection? In that regard, ladies and gentlemen, I would commit you to these tests. Each of you comes from every walk of life. Each of you is filled with the experiences of life. Each of you is endowed with a great deal of intelligence. Each of you is filled with a great deal of common sense. Each of you is called upon by hundreds in each given week, by the thousands in each given year, to make judgments with respect to situations. A moment does not pass, a day does not pass when you are called upon to make decisions about people and situations. This is all of the experience of life. This is what makes a person, this is what makes the human far superior to anything else. The ability to use the power to reason, the ability to use the power of common sense, and the ability to use one's experience and one's intelligence. I ask that you call upon all of those factors in making the determinations in this case. Ask yourself, was such a response given by such a witness consistent with common sense? Was it consistent with truth? Was it consistent with justice? These are questions of credibility, and in that regard, if you find that any witness gave false testimony deliberately as to any material fact, then you have the option of rejecting all of that testimony of that witness, or you can accept that which you believe is worthy of acceptance and reject that which you believe is not worthy of your acceptance. These are questions of credibility, and in that regard you can examine all of the documents in this case and determine for yourselves that which you will accept and that which you will reject, based upon the believable quality of that which is contained in the documents. There were witnesses who testified in this case that have been described as experts. An expert witness is one who, in accordance with law, can give opinion testimony. He is permitted, in accordance with the rules of evidence, to give opinion testimony based upon his experience, knowledge, special education in the field, and expertise. This is an exception to the hearsay rule, but the fact that one is an expert does not mean to suggest that you are to consider such testimony with any greater degree of acceptability than the testimony of a lay person. You, as jurors, are the sole judges of the credibility of the witnesses and the weight their testimony deserves. You know, of course, that there is no automatic way to decide who is telling the truth and who is not. Credibility can be equated with believability and reliability. If a witness is credible, you say he is believable and reliable. If he is incredible, you say he is unbelievable. There is nothing mysterious about those words. By what yardstick are you to judge the truthfulness of witnesses? Each of you has given careful attention to the testimony as it came from the witnesses themselves. You have observed the witnesses. These issues of fact are presented for your determination. An issue of fact is presented, for example, when one witness avers that a certain event occurred and another witness asserts that it did not occur. To a large extent, the resolution of the disputed issues of fact depend upon the credibility which you attribute to the witness's story and the support or lack of support that testimony received from other evidence in the case. Your duty is to decide the disputed issues of fact. In doing so, use your logic, your reason, your reasoning power, and your common sense. Do not be derailed or diverted or distracted by what you consider to be minor or insignificant nuances or irrelevancies, by what you consider to be an appeal not to your reason or logic, but to mere sentimentality or unthinking passion. I repeat, use your common sense. You should carefully scrutinize all the testimony given, both direct and cross-examination, the circumstances under which each witness has testified, and every matter in evidence which tends to show whether a witness is deserving of belief. Consider each witness's intelligence, motive, and state of mind and demeanor and manner while on the stand. Consider the witness's position in observing the matters as to which he has testified, and whether he impresses you as having an accurate recollection of these matters. Consider also any relation each witness may bear to either side of the case, the manner which each witness might be affected by the verdict, and the extent to which, if at all, each witness is either supported or contradicted. $185.